The inner world is so important for a Christ-following, church-working leader, and yet it's so rarely talked about when we gather together. But if you're going to last and be effective in ministry, you have to manage and protect this inner world. Here's what I love about D6 and why I came back. It's because of the leadership here. The leadership here, they get it. They know that it's important for you to be refreshed. And they are giving you permission to exhale and relax, because here's the deal. They're doing everything for you. Some of you type A leaders, relax, okay? Let me let you know a little secret. You're not in charge here. Okay? Just come in, sit down, relax. Leave your phone in your hotel room. Worship, learn. Relate to other people, but relax. You're not in charge. I know for some of you, like walking in, you're already like, maybe the camera should be over there, and if they've got a few more chairs in here, I'd be sitting up closer, and the sound isn't. Hey, look, if the sound doesn't work, who cares? Okay? It's not your issue. If you see misspelling in slides, laugh. If the person doing the music can't keep up with the songs, giggle. It's just like your church. If somebody gets up and walks out during a talk, more power to them. It's not during your sermon. Who cares? So relax. Open yourself up to God's Spirit, what He might do in and through you. Where's the church that helped me get to this awesome marriage? A guy once told me, Doug, the church was so quick to marry me, but when we were going through troubles, they were nowhere to be seen. Where is the church in the midst of helping marriages? Other than, let's be honest, an occasional sermon series, maybe some referrals to counselors, maybe a Valentine's dance once a year. If you're Baptist, a hayride, whatever. Here's the deal, friends. All of those bait and switches are happening in with families. And families are creating these tremendous, what I would call twisters, that meet what I would call our ministry twisters, and we have the makings of a perfect storm. Here's what I think is next, or what I think is required of church leaders, is church leaders who can authentically say, follow me as I follow Jesus. It's not about programs. It's not about your agenda. It's not about politics. It's not about your skill set. It's about Jesus. And I want to go to a church where Jesus is the most famous person at my church. You see, we got to get this idea that we are better together. Okay? That church needs that collective vision. What it requires from you as a leader to have a collective vision, it requires humility. It requires you to be able to say, where has God breathed in another church environment or in somebody else's life that's working, that I can be humble enough to learn from, and even if God is blessing them, and here's the key, and you don't like them. That's tough. It requires humility. It also requires discernment. That as we learn from one another in the next couple days, I want to encourage you to just be praying for discernment. And be skeptical for those that you hear here who give you easy answers. Because easy answers are the bait that will be switched. So be skeptical in a godly way. Be discerning before you jump into anything. I don't care whether it's D6 or other movements out there or the abolished children and youth ministry or whatever it is. Just be careful of any strategy that you jump on, because that strategy may not be there in 2 years. Okay? Just ask all the emergent leaders who were so right that their way was the way. It also requires time. A collective vision requires you and I to be patient. after a conference, you don't need to race back to your church and implement, here's what's next, everybody, gather around. Here's the next 10 changes. Because your church is going to do this. You were at a conference, weren't you? Now, just be patient. If you want to change anything quickly, change yourself. That's what you can change quickly. And then spend the next 3.5 months preparing for change in January when everybody expects change. The best way that I can love my church is to have a healthy family. The best ways to love my family is to be a good dad. The best ways to be a good dad is to love my wife. One of the best ways to love my wife is to take care of my inner world.